Hello everybody, welcome to a special video of Fast FPL today. We're doing a Euro 2024 Fantasy Football Ultimate Guide for all the best picks in the game. As you can see up above here, the last time round in Euro 2020 I finished 169th, I peaked around 74th. It's a game I quite enjoy. I enjoy the sort of short format game of it. Versus the UCL, where it's the same format, but the dates are kind of skewed. This one feels a lot better. Without further ado, let's get into it. Goalkeepers, then. I think Manuel Neuer is a fantastic pick. The only issue is the price. He joined the squad late because he had illness, but he has, the Germany coach has said that Neuer is his number one, so I do see him starting every game for them as long as he is fit. Jordan Pickford, the England number one, will be also absolutely nailed on for the English side. And Southgate, the England manager, likes to play quite negatively, so I do feel like the defenders and goalkeepers will benefit from that for the English side. Also, fantastic fixtures for England as well, so what's not to like there? 4 clean sheets in 8 games, 5 million, quite cheap too. Diogo Costa is one of my favourite picks here. Playing for Portugal, 9 clean sheets in 10 games. Czech Republic, Turkey, Georgia, 5 million, nailed on, amazing. Really, really strong pick. It's just squeezing free Portugal assets in, really. So those are your free premiums. Pick either 1 or 2 from those. I would recommend picking 1 and then 1 from the budget options I'm about to show you right now. These 3, in my opinion, are the best free 4 million close to nailed on starters for the goalkeeper spots. Moldovan is nailed for Romania, even though he's called Moldovan, he's the goalkeeper for Romania. 2 great fixtures actually, Ukraine and Slovenia. Belgium in the middle, 6 clean sheets in 10, 4 million, just a fantastic pick. Pence for Austria, arguably just as good a pick as Moldovan, but the issue is the fixtures there. The fixtures are not very good, that's all. I don't like those ones, but he is very nailed. The last one here, it should still be nailed. Peter Galaxy, who used to play for Hull City. Normally Hungary's number one for a long time, but De Bus has been playing almost every, if I'm not mistaken, qualifier for Hungary, and he's done well in them. And Galaxy's only just come back, and he hasn't reclaimed his place. So he's the riskier one of all these picks. But I do really like the pick still. If you're wondering where the French keepers are, Maignan is currently injured. Samba will take his place, at least temporarily, so you don't kind of want to mess with that. Netherlands, Verbruggen and Flecken are fighting over number 1. I also don't like the Netherlands defence or team as a whole for picks, really. Belgium, though, a great team to pick from. Courtois is injured, and their other 2 keepers, again, it's not certain who's going to start. So I think this list is pretty comprehensive. You could go for, you know, a Simons from Spain or a Donnarumma from Italy. I don't fancy those. I think these are a lot better. Defenders, Theo Hernandez for France. They must have mispriced him for some reason, or they've made him this price as a loss leader for the game. I don't know how you do a loss leader in fantasy football, but it feels like that because he's just too cheap. 5.5 million for one of the best left backs in the world in world football. I know his stats don't look great from qualifiers, but everything surrounding that, his other games for France, his games for AC Milan, he is very attacking, and he's the only nailed player in that back line of 5, including goalkeeper for France. Just buy him and pick 4 others. João Cancelo, another phenomenal pick. 3 goals in 9 games for Portugal from defence. He plays in a similar role as to what he did for Pep Guardiola at Man City when he used to play for them. Amazing fixtures for Portugal. 9 clean sheets in 10. The only issue is price, 6 million, but squeeze him in if you can. Grimaldo, the Bayer Leverkusen and former Benfica marauding and diminutive left back. You can see him there in the bottom left, putting his hand behind the table there for some reason. Croatia and Italy away are what put me off Grimaldo. Great name, great attacking stats at club level, and his rival for his position, Gaia, is injured and hasn't travelled with Spain as far as I'm aware. There is other threat to his position, so he's maybe not the most nailed of this list, but I do think he's worth the risk. I do think in those first 2 games, though, you'd be looking for attacking threat from him, not necessarily clean sheets. So that Albania game, I'm eyeing up that one to transfer him in for. 5 million, great price, great team, solid pick. DeMarco, arguably, well, he is more nailed than Grimaldo, and at country level, a little more, maybe a little, has been a little bit more threatening historically, but very similar. He's Tefeo Hernandez is AC Milan left back. DeMarco is Inter Milan's left back. And yeah, Albania to kick things off is a great start. So you could feasibly have him in just for that and then see how it goes. But again, solid pick. But Italy don't look the best. I don't really think they look that great on paper, to be honest with you, unless they revert to the old Italian style of the early noughties. Harry Maguire is next. An amazing pick. One of the top defenders in qualifying for shots. 6'5" player, always on the end of set pieces. England will rely on set pieces. Serbia, Denmark, Slovenia in the first 3. Nailed on at 5 million. Really strong pick. Upamecano is someone, if you can't for some reason afford Theo Fernandez, which you should be able to. Upamecano is the Bayern Munich centre-back. He should be first choice in the centre-back position for France, even though Saliba is obviously better than him. Deschamps has said that Upamecano will probably play and Saliba won't. But he does have an asterisk near him because I don't quite believe that fully. I do think there might be some rotation there. But he's probably the second most nailed in that France back line to start with anyway. When Maignan is back, Theo Hernandez and Maignan will be the most nailed. France, best team in the tournament, best team in the world at the minute. Australia, Netherlands, Poland, 2 great fixtures, 1 middling fixture. The only issue there is rotation. Mittelstadt, the Stuttgart left back, should be first choice at the German left rear flank. Scotland, Hungary, and Switzerland, all at home, of course, at 4 million. He should be in everyone's team. There might be some rotation there, but it's worth it for the home nation, a strong nation at 4 million. Also scored a couple of goals in friendlies. Obviously, no qualifying stats, as with any Germany players here, because it's their home tournament. Grimaldo, no stats, and I think De Bruyne, no stats, because there's just not enough. I think there's one or two games between them, so I didn't bother putting them on because it's not statistically significant. You can't read anything from it. Tar, the Bayer Leverkusen centre-back, phenomenal form this season under Xabi Alonso. 4.5 million should be nailed at centre-back. This should be the backline for Germany. Neuer, Kimmich at right-back, Rudiger right centre-back, Tar left centre-back, and Mittelstadt left-back. Schlotterbeck will pressure for that a start at centre-back, but I just don't see it happening in place of Tar. Just another fantastic pick. Last on the list is Wout Faes, for some reason priced at 4 million. I don't know why, but he's there at 4 million with Slovakia, Romania, Ukraine against Belgium. Yeah, I mean, what's not to like there, really? Other ones that you could pick here, I think people are thinking about risking, players like Trippier. I personally wouldn't. I think Maguire is miles better in terms of fantasy asset for this game. Just because Trippier might not play and he's coming back from injury. I don't really think there's any others. You could double up on or triple up on Portugal defense if you wanted to, with someone like Ruben Dias, who's the other sort of mostly nailed centre back. The other centre back position at Portugal is between Ramos and Pepe, so I wouldn't bother there. And then again, Dalot and Mendes for the other fullback position. Wouldn't bother there. Just go with Cancelo or Diaz. In midfield, we have a treasure trove of options. I actually recorded this video halfway through, realized I'd messed up a few stats, and I wanted them to be accurate. And also I recognized that I could probably do better than some of the lower ranked suggestions here. And some of those have fallen off the list that were there before. And that is Xavi Simons, who is popular in the game, and he's one of those kind of Willian type players where the flair looks great. It looks great, but is he effective in game, or is what he does effective in the game? Not only in the footballing sense, but in terms of fantasy football as well. And Simons in qualifying wasn't. I think he had something like 1 assist or 2 assists in 6 or 7 games, something like that. Nothing impressive at all. So he's dropped out. You can still go for him if you want. He's fine. Modric also partially dropped out as well. I do think Modric is still a really decent pick because he's on all set pieces for Croatia and it's his last tournament. So I see him doing some special things, but he is playing quite a deep role. But he is a sort of fun pick if you want him. And the last one who's not on this list before we get to the big guns here is Xherdan Shaqiri. And Ruben Vargas, to me, is better value and has better stats. Shaqiri is on more set pieces, but I like Vargas's value and stats. Let's kick it off with the Portuguese talisman, Bruno Fernandes. Absolutely phenomenal pick at any level of fantasy football and football. 10 games, 24 shots, 6 goals, 8 assists, 14 attacking returns in 10 games, 9 million. To me, he's underpriced. He should be in everyone's team. You could bet against him and then maybe get lucky, because that's the only way I would see you betting against Fernandes and it paying off here is get lucky. But it would be a big differential to go against him. I just don't see it being worth it. A big premium differential is Kevin De Bruyne. I'm personally not going to go with him, but if you enjoy watching Kevin De Bruyne and you think he's going to stay fit for the tournament, he's an incredible pick. He's an incredible pick. I don't think he's going to stay fit. I don't think he's going to play 90 minutes every game. He's always getting injured. I think he's an amazing, incredible player, but I just don't like the injury record for him. However, again, if you want to take the risk on him, go for it. As you can see, he didn't even have enough stats from qualifying because he was injured all the time. Slovakia, Romania, Ukraine, amazing fixtures for him. Gundogan, prime pick. There is slight doubt on his minutes, but he's the Germany captain. He should be on penalties potentially. He's that marauding, late breaker into the box. He's going to score goals for Germany. He's going to get a lot of minutes for Germany. He'd probably be the one that stays on the pitch as well, which is what I like about him too. It'll probably be someone like Kroos or one of the wingers that gets hooked because of fatigue due to aging, or for the fast-paced dynamics of being on the wing. So Gundogan playing essentially as a number 10 in front of the two holding mids is a phenomenal pick. Captaining the home country, great fixtures, yeah, really good. If you bet against him, again, it's probably just because you think he won't play as many minutes as than I do. Next up is the man who looked incredible when he was going to Liverpool and everyone was singing his praises. I still really enjoy watching Szoboszlai play. And he is Hungary's star man by quite a significant distance. He's one of those where, at country level, he's the star of the team. He's on everything for them, all set pieces, including penalties. Great fixtures. Look at those stats. I think maybe in the top 10 shots of the entirety of qualifying, maybe even close to top 5. 4 goals, 5 assists. Great fixtures. Yeah, what's not to like? I'm sure he'll be a very popular pick. You don't really need me to tell you to buy Dominik Szoboszlai. And Kvaradona is next. Kvar of Georgia and Napoli. 4 goals, 1 assist in 9 games, 32 shots. Again, he is the talisman. He is on everything. 7 goal. He only cost 7 million as well. Again, phenomenal pick. I really don't see there's any issues there at all. At this point here, I would say it's kind of personal preference. Okay, you can either go for sort of set pieces and involvement, or you can go for vibes, or you can go for threat. Vargas is the cheapest here. If you can eke to Shaqiri, he's also a good shout as well. I think Vargas is slightly better value and has better underlying stats, but he isn't on as many set pieces. Ruben Vargas for Switzerland, I'm mentioning here, not the fellow who used to play for QPR in Chile. Obviously, it's the Euros. But yeah, Vargas, decent option there. I think he's playing in the Bundesliga at the minute, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, I think it's Freiburg or Augsburg. Can't remember. McTominay. So McTominay, I say this as a United fan. McTominay is someone who, he's like I'm not comparing him to, well, I am comparing him to Aaron Ramsey, where, not everything will look great, and sometimes you won't know what's happening, like what he's doing within the game, but just seems to score. Great positioning in the box. Keeps his head when he does have an opportunity. He's way overperformed his stats there. 7 goals from 20 shots is pretty crazy for the Scots. I do hope to see the Scots do well, and I think he's still a great pick. The England that should be. Oh, sorry, I've got this fixtures wrong. I've got the fixtures wrong there for Scotland, but I'm not re-recording this. Scotland have Germany, Switzerland, Hungary, as far as I'm aware. So yeah, Scotland have Germany, Switzerland, Hungary. Again, bad first game, isn't it? So that's why I'm not starting with McTominay. But you know, he could be an investment for the future in the tournament. Marcel Sabitzer, again, a vibes player, really. If you just enjoy watching football and you know strong footballers, he's not the most dynamic of players, but he's wonderful to watch when he is on it. But again, he's one of those like McTominay who can kind of meander and not quite know what he's doing. The issue here with Sabitzer is his group: France, Poland, Netherlands. It's not an easy group at all. And then finally we have Sabitzer's on penalties, by the way. Christian Eriksen, who is on all set pieces. I think is he on all set pieces? He might well be on all set pieces, you know. Christian Eriksen for Denmark. Nicely priced, involved in everything, really. Playing a little, you know, not massively advanced, but reasonably enough advanced for the Denmark side. You know, he's not a complete 16 holding midfielder. I know his stats don't look the best, but he's more creative than he is an attacker in terms of threat. Others I've missed here, like I said, Simmons, Shaqiri, Modric are all fine. From that group, probably Shaqiri and Modric if you had to go from one of those, but there's loads of options, so take your pick. Up front then, so we have Kylian Mbappe. Do I need to talk about Kylian Mbappe? Even if you're watching this and you haven't played much fantasy football or know much about football, it's Kylian Mbappe, right? Just put him in your team and have him as one of your captains. And then you're basically picking 1 or 2 more premiums from the other 2 spots there. And that's Lukaku, Ronaldo, and Kane. At the minute, you see Kane's 4th in my list. Even if I'm English, I've got him 4th in my list. Lukaku's price is amazing. 14 goals from 28 shots in 8 games in qualifying is incredible. Ronaldo, 47 shots in 9 games, 10 goals, still on penalties for Portugal. It's a really tough one to pick between. Kane, not many shots, and I think 3 or 4 of those goals are from penalties, actually. And quite pricey as well. That's why I like Ronaldo and Lukaku a little better for this format, because of their pricing and because their teams play more open-flowing football versus Southgate, who's quite negative manager. Amazing picks, all 4 of those. Try and squeeze 3 in if you can, or at least 2 in. You want at least 2 of those. I would say probably 3. So but 2 or 3 of those 4. I would go with 3 personally. But if you want some cheapies, I have them here, and we'll go from the top down. Kai Havertz does have threat from Nicholas Fulkrug, that starting Bertha striker. I do think Havertz will start because he's been in good form for Arsenal. Really good form to end the season. And he tends to play better in German sides as well, as in club and international level. Great fixtures, home striker basically. Yeah, really nice price as well. Really, really nice price. Probably the best value forward in the game to start with. And then we have Gregoritsch. Again, I can't remember if it's Freiburg or Augsburg he plays for, but he's the Austrian striker. Took loads of shots in qualifying, which is why I like him. And I really like his price as well. I really like his minutes. My issue here is the fixtures. So if you're getting him, you're getting him because he's a cheapie. Don't expect much from him. That Poland fixture might be nice, though, for him. That should be a big game. 2 countries. And then last on the list is the person above Romelu Lukaku's arm is Rasmus Højlund. More involved and more attacking at national level than he is at club level. 7 goals, 1 assist in 8 games from 23 shots for Denmark, Slovenia and Serbia, just outside of England there, as in surrounding the England fixture, I mean. Nicely priced too. Again, a cheap option there, but I much prefer Kai Havertz, hence why he's higher on the list. Lewandowski in this game, in the UEFA game, is too expensive. They priced him too expensive. I don't know who's priced it, but you should have priced him at like 8 million probably would have been better. I would have had him on this list then, but 9.5 million for Lewandowski when you can get Lukaku for 9 or Ronaldo for 10 is jokes, right? He's playing for Poland. He's not playing for Bayern Munich anymore. I know he plays for Barcelona at club level now. Yeah. Other option, Tadic, but he doesn't have much goal threat. He's not actually on penalties, I don't think. Whichever Serbian striker starts, Vlahovic or Mitrovic will be on striker, will be on penalties. But Dusan Tadic is on the other set pieces and has a lot of creativity, and he's only 6.5 if you want another option there. Not really many others worth mentioning in my mind anyway. Morata, I wouldn't pick Morata, but yeah. My final thoughts then. We managed to keep it under 25 minutes, which is great. My final thoughts then. Make sure you have 15 strong players. This isn't a game where you should have players playing no minutes or just bench fodder. This is a game where you need 15 starting players who can get you points. Okay? The only position where you could save some money is second goalkeeper, but even then, you want one that can play just to give you a second chance. Okay? You need a captain playing on at least 3 of the 4 days. If you pick 3 or 4 of those strikers I just mentioned in the last one, you'll have that anyway. But just to mention, just double check you have 3 strong options on at least, three or 4 strong options across the 3 or 4 different days, because you can change captain. Make sure you invest up front. Like I said, there's no reason not to. There's loads of cheapies available in goalkeeper defense and midfield. Up front is where those premiums exist, which this type of format's always had issues with. Maybe they should change some of the wingers into midfielders. Sorry, the wing forwards into midfielders in the game as the classification. That would probably help things with differentials and diversity within the game. Do limit your minutes risks, because again, you don't want to mess with people who might not play. Like there might be like 3 or 4 players vying for the other wing for France. Right wing for Germany is probably 3 players that can play there. So don't bother with those positions, in my opinion. That's where there might be some explosive points, but I don't like that sort of risk. There's just enough differentials as it is. Make sure you check the rules. There's slightly different rules than there is in normal fantasy football. The main ones being the points are slightly different in how they score, but you can change your captain each day and you can make substitutions, hence why you need 15 strong in your squad. Set pieces are very important because it's an international tournament and set pieces reign supreme in international tournaments, as they also kind of do in club football nowadays as well. Pick talismans from your strong teams too, and double check the groups that they're in if you can. Like I said, you might want to pick someone from Austria, but then you see they have a difficult group, which they do. Okay, that is it from me, folks. These are my socials down here. Throne is where you can buy me a little something if you wish. If you want to subscribe to my channel, I much appreciate it. Trying to grow the channel out for different fantasy football content. I do FPL, these special tournaments as well. A little bit of football content too. Non-FPL football content. And then twitch.tv if you want to see my gaming live streams. And I also post this sort of stuff on Twitter as well occasionally. So without further ado, I wish you all well. Should be a fun tournament. Even if the Euro 2024 fantasy side of things doesn't go well, I think it should be a really good one to watch. The Euros and the World Cup are always incredible tournaments, and I'm really looking forward to it. So enjoy yourselves. Good luck, and I'll maybe see you on the next one. Goodbye.